Hi everyone, I'm Angel San Juan. It's back to school time in Southeast Texas, and that means once again we will be diving into the major issues impacting our area school districts with our weekly Crisis in the Classroom reports. We kick off this new season with this half-hour special during which we will be taking an in-depth look into what's become a trend in Texas: 4-day school weeks. At least 76 school districts across Texas have now switched to 4-day school weeks. 13 additional districts offer hybrid schedules with 4-day weeks for part of the year. Districts statewide have been struggling with teacher retention, particularly since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. A record number of teachers retired or resigned in the 2021-22 school year, many citing a low pay and increasing workloads without additional planning time. Scott Milder, the founder of Friends of Texas Public Schools, says the 4-day school schedule offers districts that can't afford to recruit or retain or compete with bigger school districts for high qualified faculty and staff a different type of advantage during these tough times for public education.
It's giving school districts options where they didn't have options previously. The state's political policies have they've backed our local school district leaders into a corner. There's not a lot of flexibility, and there's no wiggle room in the budget anymore. And they can't afford to make ends meet. They can't pay their bills. They can't pay their teachers well enough to compete. It's getting harder and harder to find people to find good quality educators and fill those classrooms, and then fill all the support jobs that happen in the school district too. So this has been something based on the school leaders that I've talked to that has been very successful in opening up some options for school leaders.
And coming up, we'll visit a trailblazing district that led the way in Southeast Texas when it comes to 4-day school weeks. Welcome back to our special half-hour edition of Crisis in the Classroom. Our topic, the 4-day school week. It's a growing trend among many school districts in Texas. One of the first in our area to adopt such a schedule is Devers ISD in Liberty County. Devers is a small-town school district with a big reputation. Its elementary school was named a 2022 National Blue Ribbon School. The award is considered the highest award in education that an American public school can receive. Recently, I had the opportunity to visit with Devers ISD Superintendent Elizabeth Harris about the origins of the 4-day schedule at her school district. She tells us it started out as a pilot project in 2019.
I sent out an email that said basically, hey, we're about to think about next year's calendar. If you have some input or there's some things that you would like to see if we could change, let me know what those are. And in a matter of probably less than a minute, I had a response that said, what about a 4-day week? And I thought, oh my gosh, okay. I knew that there were school districts already doing that, not so many in Texas, but elsewhere, and had been doing it since like the 70s. Colorado for one. But I knew that, when you sit in this chair, you have to be a person that listens to new ideas. It's for sure not your way or the highway, or that's not how I do it. And they have to feel like they have input. So I knew I was going to have to do my due diligence to see if, in fact, logistically that would work for us, and how would that look for us. And the end result would be, how was that going to impact students and their parents and some grandparents that have some responsibilities with all of that.
As part of doing her due diligence, Superintendent Harris sent out surveys to all parents. Only 9 families were initially against the schedule change.
The question was, what have you done about kids that don't have a place to go on Friday? Both parents work or whatever. My question is, to that group, what are y'all doing with your children during the summer? Because I know y'all are still working, right? And what are you doing during the 2 weeks we have off at Christmas? Because not everybody jobs affords them 2 weeks off, or the week at Thanksgiving. You just have to figure it out, and you have to make it work. And I'm not trying to be inconsiderate of two family, both family members working, but at the same time, you figured it out these other times, and you're gonna figure it out on that Friday, and it's consistent. It's not like we're going this Friday, but we're gonna be at school the next Friday. I mean, we go one Friday a year, and that's the first Friday.
And when we come back 4 years later, how the 4-day school week is working out for Devers. According to the school ranking website, schooldigger.com, Devers ISD has gone from the #5 district in Texas to #3. And Superintendent Elizabeth Harris believes the 4-day school week has contributed to the district's legacy of success. She advises anyone who decides to adopt such a schedule to test it out for more than 1 year. Harris says at Devers that 4-day schedule was a pilot program for 3 years, and the results have been positive.
Our STAR scores, even though that's not the end-all be-all for us, have done nothing but improve. So it truly has been a win-win for our district. The impact it's had on students with their families and having that extra day. We have a lot of dads that work for Chevron, Exxon, Targa, and they have that every other Friday off. And that's just time that they get to be with their kid. And during hunting season, they make the most of it because they pull up with all the deer stuff, and they're ready to pick them up on Thursday afternoon, and they're heading to the deer lease. You know, when teachers are able to schedule those doctor's appointments on Friday, or dentist appointment on Friday, or whatever, with their children. Now, not all of our children plan it and are sick on Friday, but for those other little checkups, you're not having to hire all of those subs, and that's been cost effective as well.
And speaking of teachers, what one longtime Devers elementary school teacher has to say about the impact of the 4-day schedule. One of the most common reasons for school districts to opt into a 4-day school week schedule is to prevent teacher burnout and offer an environment that will allow schools to recruit and retain teachers. Haley Etheridge is the 4th grade teacher at Devers Elementary. She's taught there for 10 years. Her daughter was a student there as well when the district adopted the 4-day school schedule in 2019. And Etheridge says the schedule has had a positive impact on both her and her daughter.
We were really excited to give it a shot. You know, we thought it would be really great for kids, and it has turned out to be everything we thought it would and more. The place that I see where it has the biggest impact is on student burnout. You know, those kids getting a 3-day break versus just 2 is life-changing. It is for me. And it makes a huge difference, you know, when we have those kids that are involved in a lot of extracurriculars, and kids getting to spend more time with their family. It's just wonderful.
And when we come back, we drop in on another school district, the latest in Southeast Texas, to experiment with the school calendar change. This week, Lumberton ISD students return to class with a schedule that will have them attending school 4 days a week for most of the school year. It's a hybrid schedule. District administrators believe it would improve student and staff attendance and help recruit teachers and even bus drivers. Although a district survey showed that a majority of the faculty supported the move, it was not an easy sell for many parents, and even some students voiced concerns. During a series of workshops and meetings that the school board hosted, in the end, with a 5-2 vote, board members approved the hybrid calendar for a one-year commitment. A couple of weeks ago, we sat down with Lumberton ISD Superintendent Tony Tipton to discuss that decision.
It was a very difficult decision, really, to make, to decide to go with it. We did a tremendous amount of research on the front side. We actually then came back and did some more research at the request of the board. We gathered more data to really hone in on the goods and the bads, pros and the cons of the schedule. And we landed on the 4-day hybrid, which is a little bit different than some districts have done. When we were making the presentation, you know, we showed a picture of the chip aisle. They're all chips, but there's so many different brands and labels and names, and that's the way it is with 4-day calendars, is every district and community has to find one that fits their needs, and that's exactly what we did with the hybrid.
The hybrid schedule at Lumberton ISD will work like this. There will be 5-day school weeks in August and September, and then starting in October through the end of March, there will be 4-day weeks. The 5-day schedule will resume during the final 2 months of the school year, next April and May. But so far, Dr. Tipton says before the new calendar even starts, the district is experiencing a benefit.
I will tell you that we've noticed this summer, so you know, even though we haven't begun to run the schedule yet with students in the district, I can tell you that it has had a dramatic impact on our ability to recruit and to hire teachers. We've had more applicants this year for jobs, for less jobs. We've had a lower turnover rate, and so the jobs that we have posted, we've had more applicants than we've ever had. Sometimes, you know, we've had jobs, especially our hard to fill jobs like math, science, engineering, foreign language, those kinds of things. There might be years that we have no applicants for those jobs, and this year, in even the hard to fill areas, we would have 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 applicants for each job, and really high quality, experienced teachers. So anecdotally, on the hiring front, it's mid-July, and we are right now 100% full on teachers.
While Lumberton ISD is committed to its hybrid 4-day school schedule for 1 year, as we mentioned earlier, Devers ISD Superintendent Elizabeth Harris advises districts to take longer than that to give it a fair assessment.
My advice would be, hopefully you're going to do something sort of like we did, which was a 3-year pilot, and not, it would be hard to base your decision after just 1 year, because for one, you're not going to get star scores. I mean, we still hadn't got our star scores, and not going to until August. So I would say it needs to be a multiple year so that you can kind of track stuff like cost savings for transportation, or cost savings for child nutrition, cost savings to energy. And the multiple years is going to allow you to be able to see if there's really going to be kind of what the differences are.
Lumberton ISD Superintendent Dr. Tony Tipton assures parents that despite the calendar change, students will continue to receive what he calls a top-notch education. This
for us is we're going to give it everything we've got. We're going to give it the full college try. We're really going to go after it. We're going to treat it like any other year. We're going to educate kids. That's what our mission is. That's what we're here for. And no matter what the schedule says, students are going to get a high-quality education in Lumberton. We're going to take care of them while they're here. And we hope that, you know, that a little bit of pain on the trade-off of the Fridays is going to reap on the backside by having those high-quality teachers in the classrooms with their children.
In order to make the new calendar work, Lumberton ISD will start the school day earlier and will eliminate the winter break, but still have the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays as well as spring break. When we come back, how you can help us address some of the issues taking place in your school district. During our half hour together, we focused on what's become a major issue in many school districts, the 4-day school week. But we know there's a lot going on in education right now, and it affects all of us, not just students and teachers, but our entire community. That's why if you have a situation that's impacting your school district, let us know about it by calling our tip line at 409-223-7512 or emailing us to crisis@kfdm.com, and we will look into it. Thanks for joining us this evening for the special edition of Crisis in the Classroom. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 10 for our weekly Crisis in the Classroom reports on KFDM and Thursdays at 9 on Fox 4. We'll see you soon.